Okay, I didn't say it. He said it.
Okay, so I was tagging this. I kind of want to go through it real quick. Starting with these three. Not one of these are black. The Joker's hairstyle is supposed to represent a jester hat. And in a flashback scene, they actually show him as Caucasian. And here's Harvey Dent next to a white girl, and Lex Luthor next to Superman. Now, as far as Killer Croc goes, he was always black. Here's a picture of young Waylon Jones from the comics. And Tombstone was also always black. African-American albino. Now, this is Kang the Conqueror from the comic book. In Loki, he is a variant. He's one of the variants. And as we can see in the last episode, if you watch it, spoiler alert, they showed him as an Loki, as an alligator, which indicates variants can take on all kinds of different shapes and races. I think the only other one you mentioned was Kingpin. So there is one where it actually, for sure, made a white character into a black character. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that people were not okay with that, even though he was a villain. And I don't think they cast him just because he was black and wanted to make a black version. They wanted somebody big and intimidating, and who at that time was bigger and more intimidating than Michael Clark Duncan. And he owned that shit, actually. Honestly, the only good part about that movie stunk. So honestly, nobody is okay with them changing characters for whatever reason, unless it's pulled from the source material. For the most part, it's not that big of a deal if you're using minor characters. No, I don't mean that minorities are only good for minor characters. It's not what I meant. Like this, minor characters. Or even this. But to be honest, this really isn't Jimmy Olsen. He is by name, but the character is nothing like the comic cartoonish version that he has been for the past 80 years. Don't get me wrong, I love this character, but he's not Jimmy Olsen. This guy is cool and confident and good-looking, well-built man. This Jimmy Olsen is a nerdy, clumsy geek. Now, some people got pissed off at this with the Black Johnny Storm in the reboot, but this is actually from the comics, the Earth 616, as was Wally West on the New 52 for the Flash series. And trust me when I tell you, we don't just get pissed off when they make white characters black. We get pissed off when they do the opposite for any race, because this pissed everybody off, as did this, and especially this. Now, other than that last one, Tonto, they didn't really detract from anything. They weren't major players. But the change of the main protagonist changes the entire story, especially when there's a better story to tell.